Hello and welcome to today's writing sprints. If you like, go ahead and put what you're working on in the comment section, and then we can go ahead and get started on a writing sprint. I'm muted. Hi, how did everybody do that sprint? I just worked on what I was working on yesterday for a little bit. I reread some, just the last few paragraphs of what I wrote yesterday so that I know what I'm working on today. I'm currently working on a part of the story where Alyssa is trying to like meet up with Kai in person for the first time. So it's very, very interesting. She's like leaving her hospital room. There's a lot of problem solving having to go into this specific chapter because the technology in the futuristic world is a lot different than what we have today. So I'm doing a lot of problem solving there. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to be writing on the computer today because I was getting a little irritated with that the other day, writing by hand. Um, what are you working on? Let me know in the comments. We have just about 3 minutes of the break left, and then I think we'll probably do another short sprint, maybe 15 minutes this time. I'm going to try to like probably get a good 2 hours of writing done today. So I just feel like I'm so behind, and I totally failed Camp NaNoWriMo as well, which is fine, but yeah, I definitely need to pick up the pace if I want to get this book finished. Okay, just 2 minutes left on the break here. I'm going to go ahead and get the other Pomodoro timer started. We're going to do 15 minutes this time, I think. And in 2 minutes, that is going to be 10:20. So I am going to go just check on something really fast, and I will be right back. And when I come back, we will start that 15-minute timer. Okay, so for those of you who may just be popping in here, feel free to let us know in the comments what you're working on today. I am going to go ahead and start another 15-minute timer for us to work on our projects, and I will see you guys in a little bit for another short break. All right, so we are finished with that little writing sprint. How did everybody do? I see we've got some people in here. Let me know in the comments what you have been working on for now in this writing sprint. How did you do? I am currently working on chapter 20, trying to get my my main characters to meet each other in person. It is going well so far. I don't know exactly because I'm not really keeping track of word counts, but I wrote about 2 paragraphs and I am doing it on the computer this time because I got a little annoyed writing by hand lately. But let me know what you're working on. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing for these writing sprints or for these productivity sprints. It doesn't have to be writing, even if you're reading or cleaning your house or whatever it is. Let me know what you're working on. Excuse me. I'm just a little dry today. Not really feeling my greatest, unfortunately. And it's literally the worst timing because I do start a new job today, which actually at 3 p.m. my time, I'm starting a new job and I'm not feeling well. So really bad timing. Cody, the writer, welcome. Thank you so much for popping in. Cody says, I actually just finished the first draft of my work in progress. Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. Great job. I think I actually saw your vlog yesterday. I watched it. So congratulations. That's awesome. Huge, huge accomplishment. You should be very, very proud of yourself. And now you're working on a short story for a competition to keep you jumping the gun on editing. You know, that is fantastic. You shouldn't. I agree. I think that's a great strategy to have, to work on something else while you're waiting, because you can't just like jump from writing straight into editing or rewrites, I think. Let me know if you agree with that in the comments. But I think if you jump straight from drafting into editing, it's not fresh enough, or it's too fresh, excuse me, for you to like make rational judgments on your manuscript, especially if you're fast drafting. Just my opinion. Hi, I don't know how to say that, so I'm not going to attempt, but hello, welcome. What are you working on today? I'd love to hear from you. Cody, tell me what your short story is like. What's your short story on? If you don't mind sharing in the chat. I'm currently just doing some problem solving in my manuscript. Like, my main character, Alyssa, she's like in a hospital. She has to find her way to Kai, and she's kind of put out some surveillance on him, which is kind of creepy, but it makes sense in the story. But anyways, she's like using a futuristic GPS to show her the way. So it's kind of complicated to write it down. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. So there's just some problem solving happening. Cody says, this is the first time I've finished a draft, so I have no experience on what works best, but everyone on here says to wait, so that's what I'm doing, and it's driving me crazy. Yeah, I can understand why I would be just like you, wanting to just jump in and get it done. And I think But I think that's probably a good practice because it's like I feel like if you, like I said earlier, if you finish a draft and then jumped directly into editing, it can be so fresh that you might not have a unbiased opinion. Like you're still kind of attached to what you wrote more because you just finished it, if that makes sense. But giving it a little bit of time to marinate, I guess. You can kind of, I don't know what it is with me and cooking analogies, but you can kind of go back and have a fresh set of eyes on it. The short story has to start with, it was a dark and stormy night at the shore. I'm taking a different approach than a standard beach story. I'm thinking of setting it in the future where humans can, I don't know why it's cut off your comment, but I can only see this little bit of it. No longer reproduce, and they move to cloning. These clones come out in full adult form and must undergo training to be human. Interesting. Okay. That is very, very interesting. I'd be so interested in reading that if you at all ever in the future want to share. It sounds really cool. Right. Is everybody ready for another writing sprint? I'm thinking of maybe doing another 15-minute sprint. I'm just kind of trying to ease into the longer sprints today. Um, okay, it follows a clone in his pod, and he is watching a movie that starts with that quote, and it shows the moment he feels his first emotion. That's really interesting. I like that. That's really cool. I'd be really, really interested in reading that. If you're ever looking for beta readers on the short story, let me know because I'd love to read it. Oh, sorry, I was limited in the amount of characters I could use in the chat, so I had to send it in chunks. Oh, no problem. I didn't realize that that was a thing. But okay. Yeah, that's no problem. No problem at all. All right, is everybody ready for another writing sprint? Again, I'm thinking like 15 minutes. Unless someone wants to do a longer sprint, let me know in the chat. Totally down for whatever. I am just trying to muddle through. This chapter is really difficult to write just because of the technicalities for my like the futuristic technology. It's kind of heavy on that in this chapter because she's using it to get to from one point to another. So it's just kind of like difficult to conceptualize and then put down on paper, especially since I'm pantsing. I feel like this is something that could use a lot of um not research, but just like creation off script, if that makes sense. Like I could definitely use some time to go and like create all of the technology for the future world, but I don't know. I feel like that might take the fun out of it for me. Cody says 15 works for me. I will be using the next sprint to outline the short story. Awesome. Okay, well, let's do it then. 15 minutes on 3, 2, 1, right. Good luck. Okay. So I think we're gonna just take a little bit of a longer break. What is happening here? All right, I think we're just gonna take a little bit of a longer break this time. I personally had a really great writing sprint. How about you guys? Did you guys how do you guys do? Cody, did you get your short story outlined? What about everybody else? I was able to kind of work through the technicalities of like the futuristic technology in my manuscript, and was kind of able to figure out how I would explain that to somebody who, like a reader who's never been to the future, or me because I've never been to the future. So I was able to do that in the story. And then I also kind of wrote a more adrenaline fueled scene with my main character. She's like sneaking out of the hospital right now, and she almost got caught. So it was just a little that writing sprint went by pretty fast for me because I was writing kind of like frantically, because that's how my character was feeling as well. So how did everybody else do? Interested to see everybody's progress in the chat. And we've got quite a few more people in here too. So if you are just popping in, let us know what you're working on today. We are doing productive writing sprints, and just kind of working on our manuscripts, but you're free to use these productivity sprints for anything, reading, cleaning, whatever you need to do today. We've got just about 8 minutes left in the break. I'm going to just really quickly run and grab some water, and I will be right back. In the meantime, let me know what you're working on. All right, Cody says, I wrote for a 400 word outline, and I think that I will discover all the smaller details as I draft it. Coming from drafting a novel, it will be difficult to tell a full story in 2,000 to 5,000 words. Yes. I do know what you mean. Whenever I try to write a short story, I always end up wanting to extend it into like a full-length novel. It's really, really hard to kind of like contain it into a smaller word count. Is that, you said you're writing this for a competition, so is the competition's word count goal, or like the word count maximum 5,000 words? Because if I'm not mistaken, can't a short story be anywhere from 2,000 to, or 500, sorry, excuse me, 500 words to 10,000 words, unless it's like a restriction for the competition that you're entering in. The only kind of competition writing that I've ever done was poetry competition, and I was in elementary school when I entered that. So it was like a national poetry competition thing. And it was really embarrassing. I got like third place, but I I didn't tell my mom, and she didn't know that I like to write. And so she found the like notice in the mail that I had won like third place in this poetry competition. And I got so embarrassed that I didn't even go to like accept the reward or anything. Like or the award. I just like threw it in the trash and like hid all of my little notebooks and stuff that I wrote in. Cody said, yes, but for the competition guidelines, they ask it to be 2,000 to 5,000. Okay, yeah, some competitions are different. Like you can do like longer ones or they ask it to be shorter ones. That's hard. That's really, really hard. But I think you could do it. I think you could do it. Cody says, I've never done a competition, but I saw it on Facebook and figured it would be a fun way to distract myself with something creative. Not expecting to win anything, just having fun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely. Little me, when I entered that poetry competition, I did not expect to win it either. But you might, so you might be surprised. Either way, it is a great way to have fun and to just do something creative. I agree with you 1000%. What about everybody else? I see we've got a few other people in here. What are you guys working on? Also, Cody, thank you so much for participating here. I actually, after your first comment on, I can't remember what video it was that you commented on, but you commented on one of my videos, and I went over and I looked at your profile because I saw that you also have videos on there. I really like your videos. You seem like you're so fun. Keon, hi Keon. Sorry I'm late. I'm trying to hook up my grandparents' old printer to my laptop so I can print pics for my journal. It's a hassle, but I'll be back soon to write. Yeah, no problem, Keon. Thank you so much for popping in, and good luck hooking up your grandparents' old printer. I can't imagine. Printers can be difficult, and I feel like even new ones are just hard. Sometimes they just don't work. So good luck with that. Hopefully you can get it hooked up. All right, we've got about 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left of the break. Cody says, "Aw, thank you so much. Just curious, and I know you are pantsing, but how much more story do you think is left to tell in your draft?" Oh my gosh. Well, the other day I thought I was like at the midpoint, but then I looked at my word count and I've only written as of today, I've written like just about 16,000 words. So I would say I'm probably about a fourth of the way done. I think I think though that I might be able to finish it in May. My fingers are crossed. I might be able to finish it in May. And I'm not like, even though my drafting word count goal is 80,000 words, I'm not holding myself to that because it's a first draft, right? Like I might underwrite or overwrite depending on what happens. But I how do I explain this? Like if I do end up underwriting and the story comes out at like 40,000 words, then that's fine because in my second draft, third draft, fourth draft, however many drafts it takes me to finish this draft, I can then like add stuff in. And of course, because I am pantsing, things might be coming to me in order, but they also might be coming out of order. So some things that I'm writing now might be like something that happens later down the line. I feel like I'm midpoint in the story, but then again, I could just be like feeling that way because I feel like I've kind of gotten so much done, which I mean, I technically have, but I've also not gotten nearly as much done as I probably should have by this point. Cody says, you explained your plot in a previous vlog and the dream time travel element sounds super cool. Yeah, so it's not really like time travel, but like you can like dream jump. So it's set in a futuristic world where everything is like, if you picture like New York City, picture that, but like the entire planet. And then like when people sleep, they can jump into other people's dreams. So it's like Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I think it's fun. And we can all thank my boyfriend for giving me this idea because he tends to do that a lot. And it's really annoying because then I'm like working on something and then he'll say, "Oh, I had a dream about this." And then it'll sprout an idea like sort of related but like completely unrelated. Like for example, the other day he had a dream about like a book idea for him, which he's not really a writer, so I don't know why he thinks about that. I feel like he just has ideas and then he feeds them to me. But he had this idea about like a gremlin, or was it gremlin or goblins? I don't know, something about a goblin doing something. And then it sprouted an idea for a children's book for me about a gremlin. Like just weird. I don't know how it works. I feel that my original word count goal was 65,000 and my first draft came out to just over 50K. So I too am an underwriter, but that's what editing is for. Yeah, exactly. That is so true. And I think that like it's totally okay because you can always, like you said, editing is for that. You can always add stuff. And then if you're an overwriter, you can edit it out. Um, I think if you are someone who writes perfect 80,000 words, you're a total unicorn. Just my unfiltered opinion there. All right. Is everybody ready for another sprint? I I feel good about continuing. So if everybody is also feeling good, um who would like to do a like 20-minute sprints, or do we feel ready for that? Do we need to do another short one? What's everybody feeling? Cody says, it was difficult, but accepting the idea that the first draft's sole purpose is telling yourself the story and getting it out of your head. Progress over perfection, and I'm down for 20 minutes. Awesome. Yes, it is. That is definitely, I think, probably the most difficult part of writing a first draft is like you said, progress over perfection. Like, I definitely, this is one of the reasons why I have a rule. Like, unless I'm just trying to figure out where I left off, I do not read anything that I just wrote. I always wait until like the last minute editing. And like I said, I've written short stories before. I've never actually finished a first draft of a novel. I am hoping that Project Daydream is like my number one. Like, I finished the draft book. I feel like it's going to be because I'm like really still excited about it. But I have to tell myself that every single day when I'm writing. I'm only just telling myself the story. I like nobody's gonna see this. It's okay. It's not perfect. Just getting the words down is the most important thing. That is so true, Cody. Okay, I'm thinking like Cody is down for 20 minutes. I hope everybody else is down for 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set this 20-minute timer and then we can get started. So, if everybody is ready, forget hoping, it's going to happen. Can't wait to celebrate you when you cross the finish line. Oh, thank you so much. I really like, okay, yes, you're right. No. We're getting rid of hoping. Hoping is no longer in our vocabulary, okay? Dream jumpers or like Project Daydream, whatever this project is called, this whip that I'm working on right now, Project Daydream is going to be my first ever finished, completed first draft. We are doing it. It is happening. Yes, 1000%. We have to have confidence here, right? So let's do it. All right, so we are going to do another 20-minute sprint. If everybody is ready, let's start in 3, 2, 1, right. And good luck. Okay, so we're just going to take another little break. How did everybody do during that sprint? I did not do the greatest. I'm struggling because I'm coming up onto this point where I have to figure out um where Alyssa just kind of leaves the hospital, and I don't really know that much about hospitals. I'm not sure exactly like what exit, like what part of the hospital she's leaving. So I'm just kind of trying to do a little bit of impromptu research uh about that now. How did everybody else do? I feel like I was able to get, let's see, I was able to write about like a paragraph and a half. So like I said, not the greatest. But curious to know how everybody did. Let me know in the chat and in the comments. Oops. Cody says, started the first draft of the short story and got about 150 words. That's awesome. 150 words that's great progress. And then I was dealing with some internet issues for most of the sprint and had to restart my computer. Still progress nonetheless. Yeah, that sucks when that happens. But yes, progress. Progress is progress. Like you said, progress over perfection for sure. Awesome. How are you feeling about those 150 words? Do you feel good about like how everything is starting off? That is one thing that I will say. So for those of you, I'm not sure if how many of you guys have been subscribed to me since like January, but if any of you, but I actually started the year out writing a different story called Project Elf Ears, and I was struggling really, really hard with like finding the voice in that project. And it felt like every word that I wrote was just complete and utter trash. And since switching to this project, since switching to Project Daydream, I actually haven't had any problems with that at all, luckily. Obviously, there are some parts where I may have like fallen in and out of like the actual voice that I'm trying to write in, but for the most part, it's been like pretty great in that aspect at least. Cody says, I feel good about it. It was kind of fun to write from someone with limited knowledge of life outside of a pod. For example, the MC refers to the scientist that checks on his development as doctor. Assuming there's going to be more to that. I know we have a character limit that we're working with here in the chat. Okay, so for example, the MC refers to the science. Okay, so for example, the MC refers to the scientist that checks on his development as doctor because that is the only name he has heard to refer to the scientist, and he doesn't know his own name and assumes that it's subject 417. Interesting. That is interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I could see how that would be fun to write from his perspective. Absolutely. I think it's really speaking of like writing from different perspectives, we all know that the manuscript that I'm currently working on, I'm writing in two different perspectives. I really find it fun to write and to read stories from unexpected perspectives. So, like, for example, there's this book called, I think it's called Notes from an Execution or something like that. Notes about an execution, I think. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because I wanna make sure I'm not butchering the title. Okay, it's called Notes on an Execution, and it's about a serial killer on death row. And it's like the last day of his life, like the day he's being executed, basically, from like, and like every chapter is like 1 hour in his last hours of life, but it's written in his perspective. It's written in the perspective of this serial killer. And I just think, like, not that not that in it of itself is interesting, but I think that it would be interesting from an unexpected perspective to like read and write in those perspectives. It's kind of fun. I don't know what I'm saying, if this makes any sense, or if I'm just talking gibberish. My brain is a little slow today because, like I said earlier, I'm not really feeling the greatest. But if that makes sense to you, then awesome. Cody says, if you have ever read the book Anthem, I'm kind of pulling inspo from that. No one has names because they grew up in a nameless dystopian society. Okay, so I haven't read Anthem, but I'm all for adding to my never-ending TBR. So let me go ahead and look that up on Goodreads. Let's see. Who's that by? Is it by Noah Hawley, Ayn Rand? Let's see. Ayn Rand. Okay. Well, what's another book on my TBR? Why not? I swear, I have a problem. I'm currently reading 4 books right now. So I need to stop. I need to get a grip. But really, I have 488 books on my TBR at the moment. Also, what is everybody reading right now? Let me know. I'm interested. I'm currently reading, like I said, I'm reading 4 books. So my boyfriend and I just started reading together Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. So we are like taking turns reading to each other. It's kind of cute and fun. I'm also listening to Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. That one, I'm almost finished with that one. And then I'm also reading A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. And I'm also reading Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. So reading way too many books. I need to just like finish them and then just write one, or not write, but read one at a time moving forward. Cody says, it's a fast read. We read it in school and it was super sad, but also enjoyable. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to have to pick it up at some point. Hopefully after and not during the current 4 books that I'm reading. Cody says, I am currently reading The Church Beneath the Roots by Felix Blackwell. It is the prequel to Stolen Tongues. Okay, another book that I haven't read yet or heard of. So definitely, I feel, I sometimes feel like I'm living under a rock when it comes to books. But I also feel that way with everything else. So maybe it's just like the theme of my life or something. Let's see, A Church Beneath the Roots. Okay, well, I definitely like the cover, which, I mean, I know we're not supposed to judge books by cover, but sometimes I just like to look at the covers because book covers are really beautiful sometimes not so much. Okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to read this book too. So thank you, Cody, for adding to my never-ending TBR. Really appreciate it. Seriously, no sarcasm. All right, we've got our 10-minute break is up. Are we still feeling good about the 20 minutes? How does everybody feel about that? 20 minutes sound good. I probably only have time for one more sprint though, so we could also just like do like a quick 10-minute, 15-minute sprint. How does everybody feel about that? Cody says, I love horror movies and I've never really read a horror book. Stolen Tongues was highly recommended and the prequel just came out last month. Okay, so if you are interested in horror and you like reading horror books, I have one that you should read. Let me find it because it's interesting. Let's see. Past challenges. 2019 maybe. Okay, so I technically if you I'm like super harsh when it comes to like rating books. I hardly ever give 5 stars. Actually most books that I read I give like 3 stars or less. I'm just really really harsh. So I did give this book 2 stars, but it's usually because I don't like the writing. But I found this like concept really cool. It's a okay, it's from the author of the Bone Witch trilogy, and it's a Japanese ghost looking for vengeance. Oh my gosh, cannot read. A Japanese ghost looking for vengeance, and the boy who has no choice but to trust her. It's a fantastically creepy story, sure to keep readers up at night. It's called The Girl from the Well by Rin Chupeco. I will put that in the chat. If you are interested in reading horror, then definitely read this one. I don't like I said, I did rate it 2 stars, but I'm like extra harsh. I don't know why. And I was feeling particularly harsh that year. I do remember I rated most books I read, like books that most people really like. I rated them most of them 2 stars or like 2 or 3 stars. So don't take my rating for anything other than me just being petty. Okay. So try to read that book if you are interested in the synopsis of it. Obviously, like make your judgments for yourself. But if you like horror, then maybe check that one out. Kian says, success with the printer. I can now print pictures and quotes for my journal. Hey, that is awesome. Good job, Kian. Cody says, I will add it to my TBR. Awesome. Okay, I think, like I said, I have time for like one more sprint. Do you guys want to do like another 20-minute sprint, or are we thinking something shorter? We could do like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. How do you feel about that? I'm immediately checking my library for that. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what my problem is with rating. I just have like I'm just so harsh, you guys. Like I think I've only ever given like 2 books a 5-star rating, and I can probably count on 2 hands how many, and I've read a lot of books. So how many I've given 4 stars. I'm so harsh. I shouldn't be, but I am. I'm like very particular about my books. So uh, you know what's stupid about that though is that I have given 5-star books that definitely do, or I've given 5-star ratings to books that definitely do not deserve 5 stars, but simply because of like the nostalgic feeling that it gives me to read them. But anyways, that's just, I don't know. Okay, so Cody is down for whatever. Awesome. I'm thinking they'll probably do like a short one then, because like I said, I don't have that much time left. So let's maybe do like a 10-minute, and then we can break with like a short or like a little chat. Also, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame were my intro to Romantasy World, and I love them. Very excited for Onyx Storm next January. Yes. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of like the spicy stuff in like the book. I actually blush so hard when it comes up because I'm listening to it in an audiobook. I'm not reading it. I'm listening to someone narrate this, so it's like extra awkward. And let me tell you, like, I did not know that my jaw could drop that far down to the ground when I first it was just an unexpected thing that happened. Also, I also was listening to it in front of my boyfriend, and like now he like every 5 seconds he will literally just like come into the room and just start like regurgitating it back to me just to get a reaction out of me because he's mean like that. So now I'm just like it makes me blush. But anyways. Kian says, I feel like I'm the opposite. I give 4 or 5 stars unless I DNF. Yeah. My library has a girl from the well. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know why I do that, but I think my average star rating is like 3 stars. And the only time I DNF a book is when I know that I will literally never be able to finish it because it's so bad that I like fall asleep reading it. Cody says, I've never been a spicy reading person, so it took some getting used to. Felt like I had to read it when I wasn't around other people. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I made the mistake of putting it on like while I was taking a shower on my boyfriend. My boyfriend has this like little H2O speaker thing, and I put it on in the shower. And so I was like listening to it while I was taking a shower, and that came on. I mean, literally, I've never been so mortified in my entire life. It was really just like, and now he just like, like, why? You know what I'm talking about, Cody? That first scene in Fourth Wing when they first do the spicy stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Do you remember what she says about the thing? And he now constantly repeats it to me every single time he feels like every single time he wants to embarrass me. He does that. It's so bad. Okay. I tried hunting Adeline, but I had to DNF because it was spicy mixed with gore and it was just too much for me. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, I know. Lightning strike outside the window. It was so embarrassing, you guys. Like, I actually wanted to crawl under a rock. It was bad. Not in the shower. Yeah, I know. Tell me why I actually almost broke my neck jumping out of the shower to turn that speaker off so fast because it was loud. Okay, first of all, and I have neighbors. I live in an apartment, and my boyfriend was in the living room trying to study, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I literally like I hid from him in my little like office area for so long after that. I was so embarrassed. Anyways, we are like way off topic. Let's go ahead and let's just jump into one more writing sprint. How about let's do that really fast. He's gonna be home any second now too, and I don't want him catching me talking about this with you guys because I will literally never hear it. He loves to just like embarrass me and make me blush with this kind of stuff. I was blushing enough reading it in my head. I can't imagine hearing it out loud. Yeah, I know. It was so bad. It was so bad. And could you Like, I know you're engaged, Cody. Could you picture your fiance like in the next room? Like if you were listening to that on an audiobook on a speaker loud as F while you're in the shower. Okay. And we have a rainfall shower, so I had to like blast it in order to hear it. So it was loud. Could you imagine hearing that for the first time? You're already embarrassed. Oh my gosh, it's just bad. Just don't do it. Don't do it. So now every single time I listen to this audiobook, headphones are in. Nobody is home just in case because I can't take it. I literally can't take it. That's kind of cute though, haha, but it's why I never listen to anything out loud. Yeah, I know. It's bad. Cody says, I would die. Yeah, I almost did. Trust me, I almost did. All right. One more writing sprint, you guys. One more. 10 minutes. If everybody is ready, let's do it. And 3, 2, 1, write, and good luck. Okay, guys. So how did everybody do? I did okay. Not really. Again, another 10 minutes of me just looking around on the internet for more information. But let me know in the comments how you did, and I will be right back. All right, sorry about that. My boyfriend just came home, so I had to go say hi. Cody says, I got another 250 words. Fantastic. Keon says, I don't have a word count because I'm writing by hand, but I got half a page in a notebook. That is great. That is progress, and progress is perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. It doesn't have to be 500 words a minute. Nobody can do that anyways, but you know what I mean. I think, yeah, I think in total, I wrote a sentence. Well, I finished one sentence that I was working on before in the last sprint, and then I wrote like part of another one. So yeah, I wrote a sentence, but this part I'm like getting stuck in logistics. Like I really shouldn't. I should just write and then fix it later. But it is what it is. I'm trying to figure out, where people get packages delivered in like a business. I was trying to figure out what that was called first, and now I'm like stuck on what a like that gate thing or the door that lifts in the back of a truck is called. And so I'm just doing a lot of research about pointless things and letting myself get distracted by stuff that I shouldn't get distracted about. But anyways, progress is progress. And like Cody said earlier, progress, not perfection. Exactly. So tailgate, yeah, I don't know exactly. I'm just calling it a gate because I don't know. Um, I don't know anything about trucks, to be honest, especially not delivery trucks. So, yeah, I looked up like a diagram, and one just said like rolling door, a roll up door, but that sounds weird to me, so I'm calling it a gate. Keon, do you typically write by hand, or is it just something that you're trying? I can't remember if we've talked about this in a previous stream before. And also, Cody, how do you feel about that 250 words that you wrote? Do you feel good about that? Cody says, I saw a tip that says to keep the progress moving forward, you can use XX to mark things you need to research and put a summary in parentheses after it. That way, in editing, you can control FXX. Yeah, fair. I could probably do that and find all the small bits you need to research. Yeah. I could probably do that. I find that when I do that though, I tend to just like use that as an excuse to move forward all of the time, when really I could just like write it down. Like I use it as an excuse not to write. I'm so like I don't know why I'm so difficult about stuff like this, but I do that. Um, like I used to use a parentheses method like anytime that I like there was like a scene that I was stuck on. So instead of working through the problem, I would just like put in brackets like this needs to go here. And then I found that when I just like anytime I ever sort of got a glimmer of frustration in a scene, I would just do that instead of like trying to work through the problem. Like I almost used it as like a placeholder for writing, which I need to stop doing. XX doesn't appear in the English language, so it's good to use. I am so ADHD, so if I open a browser mid-session, I will magically end up on YouTube or Facebook. Yeah, I am also very ADHD, but I am lucky in that I kind of have, well, actually, I wouldn't say I'm lucky, but I have actually like blocked certain websites from Google Chrome when I'm working on stuff. So, um that does sound weird. It's something new I'm trying for this first draft of this new novel. I have a disability that affects my muscles, so I type really slow, and I feel that's why I've never finished. Okay. Um, a novel. So I'm going to write by hand and then use dictation to type it up and see how that goes. Absolutely. I think that's a great that's a great accommodation to make for yourself. Absolutely. Um, and let me know how that goes for you. I'm interested in learning more about like the different techniques people can use to write. So instead of just typing up on the computer, writing, dictation. I've done both of those methods before. I don't know if there's any other method you could use really. Like it'd be kind of hard to find another method like realistically, wouldn't it? But I think that that's a great idea to make use of those tools to kind of help you move through things a little bit with that. Also, how is everybody doing? Like, are you guys planning on continuing to work after the stream, or what are your plans for today? Um, I am actually currently filming another vlog right now, so I am definitely going to be writing a little bit more later. Um, but I also, like I mentioned, I start a new job today, so I at 3 o'clock I have to go in for that. Um, so I don't know exactly how much work I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try to write probably at least another hour, I would think. Maybe not directly after the stream, but later this afternoon or tonight when I get home. Cody says, I might write a little more. I'm currently at work, so I need to get back to that for a bit. But I wanted to hop on and support the stream, so it was a nice creative break from work. Oh, thank you so much for just popping in to support. That's really nice. I really appreciate that, Cody. Excuse me. What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking? Kian says, yeah, I'm on summer break from uni, so I'm going to try to finish a whole novel in 3 months. What's your job, if you don't mind me asking? Well, so I just got like a part-time job working at this restaurant here in town as like a hostess, and they're going to cross train me to wait tables and then eventually bartend. So but I do that, and then I also do like Uber and like Uber Eats and stuff right now because I don't know, you probably already know this from watching my previous vlogs, but I did get laid off from my recruiting job in January. So I've been kind of like unemployed for most of the year. So I need I'm like coming to the end of my like emergency fund and stuff. So I wanted to like get a part-time job at least so that I can like pay my bills and stuff, obviously. So nothing huge, nothing like too big or anything. It's just kind of, you know, a basic part-time job, restaurant job. Cody says, I'm a program manager for neurology at the University of Tennessee, so I coordinate events and work with faculty and residents of neurology to make sure they get the training they need to graduate. Awesome. That is very, very cool. What got you into that? And do you like it? And I think we talked about this, Keon, but remind me, what are you studying at uni? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're studying history, if I'm not mistaken, because you're going to be librarian. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I'm really bad with like remembering details, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm also currently a student, so late in life, but it's fine. I am currently studying digital marketing at the moment. Cody says, my degree is in education. I was a music teacher for a few years. I was underpaid and overwhelmed, so I was looking for something new. I had a friend that worked here, and she got me in because they love, wait for the end here. Hiring teachers. Okay. I don't know anything about neurology, but I'm good at juggling tasks and being organized. Awesome. That's great, Cody. Very lucky you had a friend who was able to kind of get you in there. That's awesome. Keon says, I think I remembered one of your vlogs where you said you were laid off. I hope the job won't zap your creative energy. I know the customer service jobs can do that. Yeah, that's right. I'm studying to be a librarian. I'm also late in life, 26. Okay, awesome. That's great. Yeah, I would say 26 is late in life. I mean, technically I'm 33. So that's not really late in life either, but it feels like later than most people go to college. So that's awesome though that you're doing that. That's really, really great. And yeah, I don't think that this one's gonna zap my creative energy because firstly, the place that I'm working, it seems really nice, at least so far. And also I've waited tables before and it's not necessarily the same as like working in a call center or like retail for sure. So but yeah, we did talk about that I think in the last stream that I remember you attending, was that we did talk about the customer service jobs being a zap on creative energy. And 1000% I agree. I think that in a job like waiting tables and hosting and stuff, I might be a little too busy to notice people being irritating. Hopefully, we'll see. But I'll also, I just need the money, so I just need something for now, at least. Cody says it's never too late to find what you're passionate about. I 1000% agree. 1000%. That is so true. Even people in like, there's people attending college in their 70s. So it's there. It is never too late. Cody says, I am almost 30 and I'm just now reaching goals as a writer that I dreamed of since I was 10. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I feel like there's someone like super important in history that didn't do something until like their 40s or 50s or something like that. Famous late, let's look up famous late bloomers, shall we? Okay. Julia Child wrote her first cookbook at the age of 49. Susan Boyle, everybody knows Susan Boyle. She was, I think, 46. Yeah, she was 46 when she was discovered by Britain's Got Talent. Vera Wang was 40 years old when she started her own bridal boutique, and everybody knows who she is. So, I think that's important to remember. Like, you don't have to be like super young to like get started on your path. Keon says, retail is awful for sure. I'm actually super grateful to have waited, even though sometimes I feel bad because I saved up enough for my entire degree and have no loans. Yeah, I didn't save, but I am also very glad that I waited, because I think that if I had gone to college when I should have, and I use that term loosely, then I probably wouldn't have been near as mentally prepared, and I definitely wouldn't have been in a stable enough life situation to continue. Also, I would have chosen something that I wasn't entirely passionate about. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Thanks for joining. We are actually just wrapping it up. But I do appreciate you popping in to say hi. Also, you guys, there is going to be another live stream on Sunday. So I'm doing a live stream on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to start the same time that this one did and end the same time that this one does. Also, I am planning on doing like live streams at different times moving forward so that more people can attend. I'll just have to figure out when that happens. Cody says, we are all just doing the best we can to survive while pursuing our own personal project daydream. Yes, exactly. 1000%. And I love that, by the way, Cody. I just love that, because that is exactly how I feel about like pretty much any creative pursuit. It's just like kind of like daydreaming about it. That's one of the reasons why I listed it, or I named it Project Daydream. Also, it just like goes with the vibe of the story, but I was daydreaming about the project. So I had to, like, it was the only thing that I could think of that kind of fit really well. But I do love that. That's cute. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate, all of the support that you've given me, and just hopping in and just, being a part of the stream and writing with me and talking to me and stuff as well. I super, super appreciate it. And hopefully everybody can join for Sunday. I feel like it's always just super fun talking with you guys, and I want to do this more often as well. So Cody says, thank you for hosting. It is no problem. I love doing this. It's so fun talking with you guys in real time, and just like interacting with everybody and writing with everybody as well. So it is a pleasure. Thanks for the stream. I'll be back Sunday for sure. Awesome. Keon, cannot wait to talk with you then. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.